Hey, welcome back. It's been a 2 week hiatus, but we are back and broadcasting live here on Ustream. Welcome to Anime Talk. I am Joe. I am your host. I appreciate you guys sticking through the wait and coming back for another week. As always, you can find me here or on a more regular basis at We Remember Love. On Twitter, you can find me at Joe Animated. And if you have any questions, you can either send me something, mention me on Twitter, or use the hashtag JoysAnimeTalk. Let's get to our first guest tonight. Liv, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Min, and you can find, well, I go by the handle LVLLN. You can find me at Metanorn, and yeah, my Twitter handle is also LVLLN.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
And next up, we have a first-timer tonight. Yerocha, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Yerocha. I'm currently running a website called Shades of Grey. It's a manga discussions website. I started some time ago because there weren't too many manga websites around. You can also find me at the Twitter tag named Yerocha.
All right, thanks. And then last, our last guest tonight, Kriz, go ahead.
Hi everyone, this is Grizzly Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Grizzly Bear. It's pretty much Grizzly Bear with a K. I have a blog called Baka Laureate. It's at bakalaureate.wordpress.com. I pretty much write about anime from the viewpoint of a person who's aspiring to become a novelist.
All right, thanks, guys. And then let's get started with our first question tonight. So, it is that time of year when it is con season. You know, lots of things. You had Anime North. You've got my mind just went blank. You have the one coming up in California here soon. Big cons. If you guys could cosplay,
well, Anime Expo, yeah.
Yeah, Anime Expo. If you guys could cosplay as any character, you know, say budget was no cap, you could get whatever you needed to make it happen. What character would you be? Kriz, why don't you start?
Okay, well, this is a little bit of a background. I was recently at Anime North at the end of May this year. I ended up going as Akira from Saitama, and I ended up using a really budget cosplay, just essentially wear the fancy little suit, but I just bought a really cheap long fabric to make a turban out of it, and I just ran around making duck signals to everybody. But that's pretty much because I like to cosplay like really budget consciously. But if I had no particular budget constraints, that's a pretty tough question. I would probably go, and this is due to my fandom with Pretty Cure, but I'd definitely go as one of the villains from Heartcatch Pretty Cure. His name is Kumojaki, and he's got like a really cool little cloak thing going on and wields a pretty mean-looking sword and a really crazy-ass long-haired wig. It's really cool.
Huh. What about you, Min? What would you cosplay as?
Yeah, that's a tough question because yeah, I've never cosplayed before, but I was thinking probably, I don't know, does that supposed to say Nozomu? Sushiki Nozomu? I think I like the the kimono or that he wears. It's comfortable. You could probably do like a noose around the neck kind of thing. And, yeah.
No Nozomu cosplay would be complete without it.
Yeah, I think I've run into like maybe one or two at a con, and that's pretty much what they do. They have the noose around the neck, and they they just wear what he wears all the time. It's really funny that way.
What about you, Yerocha?
Like you, I've never actually done any sort of cosplay type thing before. Partly due to budget, and partly because I don't really have the body type of most anime characters. I doubt most of us do, so I assume that for most people it's just a case of how comfortable you are wearing that stuff. But I think there are two characters I'm thinking of right now that I'd want to cosplay as, I think. First is Kame Katsuragi from The World God Only Knows, mainly because I think I could, just in terms of the outfit, I think I could actually do a good Kame impression. the only thing I really need is a PSP.
Which,
But
if anybody's looking for a PSP, I've got one. Never used it. I'd be willing to sell it. Anyways, go on.
Well, you actually have to modify it a bit so it says PFP though. So.
yeah. Well, we are
That's how
talking
you
about
use that
inflated.
budget.
That's probably where all the budget would go, and just in getting the PFP to say that.
That's funny. So what would be the other character you'd look at?
This is sort of an odd one. It's from not so much an anime, but a game I've been playing recently. I'd sort of want to go cosplaying as Asbel from Tales of Graces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, that's an odd one, mainly because I really like his outfit for some reason. Just the way it looks, especially compared to the others.
See, I have a bigger issue. I'm tall, I'm redheaded, and it's really hard to get any sort of, I don't know, like I said, the body type, the stereotype, I just don't fit into that.
Well, let's say if you're tall and redheaded, well, you can go as that from Penny and Stocking.
Go as, what, Briefs, whatever his name
Brief.
is?
Yeah, Brief. He's tall and redheaded.
That's true. That wouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty easy, too, actually. That's not a bad idea.
Probably off the top of my
how-
head, the only tall and redheaded people I know in the anime are women.
I keep thinking, for some reason, I keep thinking for tall redheads, I keep thinking back to Penguin Drum. And then, for sure, I definitely wouldn't want to cosplay as her. I forget her name right now, but I definitely know.
Well, I mean, the guy, the older brother is kind of a redhead.
Oh, yeah, him.
He's got that
red
auburn-y,
and blue.
maroony hair, huh?
Yeah.
We've got a comment here. What about Zetsubo Sensei from Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, right? The manga and an anime. Yeah. That would be pretty funny. Have a very depressing or a very depressed outlook. It'd be interesting to do.
Yeah. I mean, it probably works well for what I look like because I'm an Asian guy with glasses. Then again, that doesn't really limit your options that much.
Yeah, true.
I guess.
So let's move.
Actually,
Huh? Go for it.
I just thought of one more idea for cosplay. I'm not sure how you would best pull this off, but I'd sort of like to go cosplaying as Brooke from One Piece. Yeah, for those who don't know, Brooke is the walking skeleton with the afro.
Oh.
Okay.
I guess you could wear a black suit with a skeleton imprinted on it, maybe. I don't know. That would be difficult. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It would be impressive if you could pull it off.
Yeah, you need well, for stuff like One Piece, the art style is just really out there. So a lot of the character builds, the way they're drawn, it requires a specific type of build to pull off really well. But I've seen a lot of like Luffy cosplays, and that's one like the really easiest one in the entire show.
Yeah, I mentions a lot of Nami as well.
Oh yeah, Nami's pretty good too.
Yeah, but I'd like to try maybe something from what is it, Yuasa anime, like Kaiba. Like first of all, how many? Sure, but like Kaiba, the style is just so out there. It's the proportions are kind of gummy bearish, and it'll be pretty hard to actually get all the get it looking like that. Does.
So let's move on to our next topic here. So this season, I think people generally agree that there have been a lot of just quality shows that have come out this season. Some stronger than others, but generally speaking, I think the spring has been a good season. So of those ones that really started strong, let's say Slope Bros or second season of Fate Zero, we're getting closer to their conclusions, to their endings. Do you guys think that these shows have maintained their strength? Or are they starting to kind of, peter off and reach, not maintain that plateau, or at least maintain a steady strength throughout the season? Min, what do you think?
Okay, this is a pretty open-ended question, or we could really go on for hours if we. So I'll just use one example, which is Sankarea, which I think is a show that came out of left field for most people, and I think the first 3 or so episodes were really great. Most people felt that way too, or at least thought there was something there. But I think that's definitely a show that's kind of worn out its welcome. It still has it's visually striking at times, but story since episode 3 or so, it feels like it's really stalled. Not much has happened. We've had 2 flashback episodes of varying quality, and yeah, it's like we're at episode 10 already. I think 11's next week, so or this week. So it's like, so she's turned into a zombie, and he's trying to figure out how to keep her alive. Or how to keep her from decomposing. Not much happens all this far, so yeah, it's getting kind of. I think that's one that's definitely had a downward trend, I guess.
Which is kind of disappointing, at least in a sense. They did a really good job in those first few episodes of taking an average manga, not a great manga, but an average manga, and really making it enjoyable to watch. And then they just kind of they lost that pizzazz. They lost that whatever it was that I don't know how you describe it.
Yeah,
But
I
they
mean,
lost that effort
yeah,
almost. They almost gave up and decided to succumb to a lower calling. I don't know.
well, I mean, I think the visuals have been consistently good, but it's like I don't know, the pacing has just got caught into a standstill. You have an entire episode where very little happens.
Yeah.
It might have something to do with the source material too. I haven't read the manga at all, but usually something like that happens where the story seems to stall, but the presentation still pretty good quality. Then usually that would be the source material's fault, and or either that or the adapters or the person who's doing the adaptation, they're not really pacing throughout the source material as well as they should be.
Yeah, I'm not sure where in the story, like, what happened after the anime is going to end, but it feels like that they could have done all of this that they've done so far in about half the episodes. They could have adapted something else after it. Maybe they just decided where they wanted to end and couldn't have enough material to fill that time.
Yeah, but they're missing a whole character introduction at this point that could have been brought in a long time ago. You know, in the manga, there's a scientist that worked with the grandfather that ends up coming in, kind of mixes things up, adds a new dynamic to everything, and they've missed an opportunity to introduce her early enough to really keep that going. I don't know. Like you said, we could argue about that for a long time. And then they're like, well,
Yeah.
and then there's like Slope Bros.
Any other shows?
I think Slope Bros for me has gone from being strong to turning into a Japanese One Tree Hill. You know what I mean? Like it's gone
Sorry,
CW on us almost.
What's One Tree Hill?
Oh, sorry, I'm just making a joke. CW has a bunch of these shows like Dawson's Creek or
Heaven's Heaven, yeah.
That whole they're sitting there for that 13 to 18-year-old female genre where it's just there to, you know, this person dates this person, breaks up with this person, insult. You know what I mean? It's just this constant cycling.
Melodrama type of thing.
Yeah, so I think for me, Slope Bros has degraded into becoming just another CW show. You know, another Dawson's Creek for those of us that are old enough. You know.
Yeah, I think it really betrayed a lot of people's expectations going into this season because I think there were a lot of big names associated with the production, like Yoko Kanno and all those other stuff. But and I think for me personally, I just watch it for the jazz, and apparently they're eschewing the jazz in favor of all the other character-centric elements in the story with regards to like love triangles and all that jazz. But I'm not intended, but it really detracts from it. But I can't say that I blame them because I think I had the wrong expectation going into it, that I'd be just watching like something like an Odama Cantabile, except for it's set in 1960s Japan with jazz music as the center, but I was completely wrong about it. So.
See, I didn't know anything about it going into it. Somebody said, hey, you should give this a try. You know, pulled it up. Thought it was pretty good, but it's kind of slipping. What do you think, Yerocha?
For like Kids on the Slope, I think I actually was really looking forward to that going in. I thought it would be really good. I still think it's really entertaining, though it's definitely not my favorite show of the season like I thought it might have been. For me,
Yeah.
I think that there's probably just one show that I think has actually improved, in my opinion, since it started quite a bit, and that's Saritama.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, like at first I didn't really think it was going to be very good because we didn't get a lot of information about it beforehand. I think I remember a lot of stuff was hidden, and I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, especially with the production values or the art style that it used got very, very odd. I'm not sure how to describe it.
Yeah, the director has a kind of a trademark style, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Not actually familiar with his work.
I actually fell in love with the style really early on. It's just something that really stands out for the rest of the season, amongst the rest of the other shows that's airing this season. So I was a really quick adopter of that anime, and it became one of those must-watch shows for me week in and week out. But I did fall behind a little bit because I recently just moved to a new apartment, so I did fall behind for a couple of weeks. But that was pretty much the first show that I would immediately try to catch up on as soon as I settled in. And right now, it's kind of like it's maintained that level, but it hasn't really taken that next level for me in terms of excitement or I guess captivation or whatnot. It's just a pretty good show for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the same. I think the same for me as well. Partly because the first two episodes I think were very deliberately misleading in terms of the overall story. Like they're meant to be confusing almost.
Yeah.
And over time, as you start learning more and more about what's actually happening, that's when I think it starts to get better because it's just slightly more grounded, which still makes it very atmospheric, but you can at least understand it fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good balance to make.
Yeah, I really fell in love with that show right away, and I agree with Kriz basically. It's maintained its level. I wouldn't say it's become like amazing, but I think it's my favorite show this season.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
See, I watched the first episode, saw the LSD squirt gun, and kind of went, I've got too many things on my plate already. I'll have to pass. But it didn't appeal to me right away, and so I had to pass on it. I guess I missed out sticking with it just a little bit longer. But overall,
I
they
mean,
I say go ahead.
it doesn't really shift in tone, I guess, early on, but it's I don't know, if you didn't enjoy the first episode, would necessarily improve for you over time. I don't know.
I gotcha. So let's go on to our third topic tonight, guys. So looking past this upcoming summer anime, let's look farther. Let's reach farther into like fall and winter. We're starting to get some hints on what's going to be coming out here. What anime that you know of that's coming out this latter half of the year are you most looking forward to, or that's got you kind of your interest peaked going into this? Yerocha, why don't you start?
Okay. Well, just recently, I think 2 or 3 days ago, they announced the anime version of two different manga I know about. One was Codebreaker, which is something I wanted to read a while ago, but I never started for whatever reason. The other was something called Magi, The Labyrinth of Magic. I think that's what the full title is. I'd only just heard of it now, but it seemed to have a similar style. I heard it was made by the guy who created the series Sumo Momo. Heard of that?
No, I have not.
Oh, Sumo, a lot of Mo's.
Momo or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that they're releasing a season 2 for that?
No, it's by the same guy, I think.
Oh, by the same guy. Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more of a parody-ish kind of show. And those, I looked into those, and they both seemed fairly interesting. I think Codebreaker is more action-oriented, so I'm all about the action.
Mm.
And I'm also curious about is that there are 2 different shows I heard about based on manga that I'm currently reading, and I'd like to see how that turns out. First is, have you guys heard of Silver Spoon?
Heard of the 80s TV show?
I think that's a different thing, but Silver Spoon is the new series by the woman who made Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh.
Oh, the name strikes familiar, but I never actually heard too much about it in any particular detail.
Basically, the slice of life farming series. It's
a farming series?
It's very different from Full Metal Alchemist, but that's generally the premise. It's a slice of life series that centers around a boy at a school full of farmers and people.
It's kind of like
Very
Harvest Moon.
A little bit like that.
Yeah.
I would totally watch that, actually. I'm a huge fan of Harvest Moon, so that's definitely an auto-watch for me, if that's the case.
I'll probably watch it too, mainly because I like the manga, but it's very, very wordy, and I could never get caught up on it. That's the problem. So I think an anime might suit it a bit better. The one other series I was looking into, this one isn't so much looking forward to watching it as just looking forward to what they'll do. It's a shoujo series I was reading. I believe the Japanese title is Tsukite I Naio. It has a couple different translations, but it's really just a more basic series about a girl who meets the most popular guy in school, and they start a relationship.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this one. Yeah, the scanlation stopped a while ago, but I've read up to about, I don't know, was it 15, 16 chapters, something like that?
Yeah, that's about as far as they ever got. I think 17 is the total. But yeah, like it's somewhat interesting, but not exactly groundbreaking. I'd like to see what they'll end up doing with that series, because it is coming out in the fall season, and I do know that it sells quite a bit, so maybe a lot more people are going to like that one.
Yeah, I think it'll end up being good with the people who like the romance types. You know, it's kind of the reverse. Instead of having the faceless male lead, you have a faceless female lead kind of thing, where she's kind of, I'm not pretty, I'm not this, and the popular guy. It's kind of like the reverse of Excel World in a sense. Instead of having the popular girl and ugly guy, you have the average girl and the popular guy. You know?
Isn't that kind of like Kimi ni Todoke? I mean, Kazuya is not like a player, but he's pretty popular.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. That's what I always heard it compared to. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as that, mainly because I'm a really big fan of Kimi ni Todoke.
Yeah, I've read those first 17 scanlations, and like it was interesting, but it wasn't like, wow, this has to be animated to me, you know? Actually,
I was really surprised.
We've been corrected too. They've scanlated 19 chapters. If you're looking for one.
Okay.
But go ahead, Yerocha.
Yeah, I was just finishing up by saying that I never really expected it. I remember when I first heard it announced, there were two different series announced at once. This series and something else. I think I was honestly more interested in the other series they announced, but I've already forgotten all about that.
What about you, Kriz? Have you seen any announcements that have piqued your interest? I know you're big into the magical girl genre. Is there anything coming up in that's piqued your interest?
Nothing so much in magical girl, but I'm actually very I'm currently in the middle of a little writing project here. I'm working on a novel series that's based on magical girls, except it's kind of infused in a post-cyberpunk setting. So I'm actually, kind of like in the whole, in the vein of like Steins Gate or Daniel Coyle, that sort of thing. But more so Steins Gate though. And having watched that show, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I remember I didn't realize that it was connected to, what was that, Chaos had a while ago. It wasn't really that. Yeah, it wasn't really that great, but it was a really interesting milieu or world or whatnot. So having noticed how great Steins Gate did, I'm actually kind of interested in Robotics Notes. That's coming out on the No Automata time slot in the fall. So that's something I'm particularly excited about, even though it's just another 5BP novel adaptation, so it could be hit or miss.
Well, it is Production IG on Noitamina doing sci-fi.
Yeah, well, you know, what other
Oh.
production IG show was on No Time before, so we'll just have to, I'll have to be cautiously optimistic about this.
What about you, man? Have you seen anything that piqued your interest?
So usually for me, I don't get that much, like, I don't check out too much information on new shows, but I guess I'm pretty excited about Hidamari's Sketch returning, I believe, in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's my favorite cute girls doing cute things show. Yeah, it's forward to seeing them. And yeah, I guess I'm also actually kind of curious about Robotics Notes after Steins. Clearly, Steins demonstrated that there's whoever wrote that has at least some level of skill. So, and Production IGO, you know, they're at least good at making things pretty.
Mm.
So this, you know, if everything lines up, this could be.
So kind of to continue then, we're talking about shows we're interested in. What about, is there any show from this season that is probably going to end on a first season that you would like to see continued on either a second season or to continue into the summer season if it could?
I think this is that a loaded question or
No,
sorry, not loaded question. It sounds like you have, well, I guess knowing you, I feel like you have one in mind.
Well, I have some shows I'm watching that I would love to see a second season. I mean, we got MGX, which is a favorite manga of mine that I wouldn't mind seeing move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for you guys, there's some shows this season that are definitely they're just spring right now. I don't think there's any guarantee there's going to be a second season or even a continuation. So for you guys, is there anything in particular that you guys have enjoyed? It's like, man, it's going to stop now. I'd really like to see it going forward.
I got one actually. Saki.
Go for it.
Yeah, so Saki, essentially, they're airing a Chica Hen right now, and for the most part, my understanding is that this is going to be the only season of that particular, I guess, that particular story approach, because the original series was based on the titular character, Saki, whereas this spin-off show is kind of based on another school that kind of wants to meet up with Saki's team in the national mahjong, high school mahjong tournament. But I'm hearing some buzz about continuing Saki onwards in the future, but I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be actually realized, but I definitely want to watch more of that because I'm just a huge mahjong junkie, so.
Right, so this new season of Saki doesn't star Saki?
Yeah, see, it's actually the original series. The main character befriends a really skilled mahjong player named Nodoka. And the thing is, in this particular spin-off, Nodoka used to be in another school with where Ichiga Hen's main characters are, and they want to meet up with her, or they want to play mahjong against her because she kind of had to leave for another school or whatnot. So their goal is to meet up with Nodoka in the finals for the national tournament for high school mahjong. So it's actually a really interesting approach that they took with that particular story. But I think it's kind of run its course. I kind of want to see. I want to bring it back to the main cast from the original series. So.
So what about Polar Bear Cafe? I know I think Kriz, you're still watching it. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Worthy of a second season?
It's hard to say. Well, because you don't want to push it like too much. Otherwise, it might just outstay its welcome. It's kind of like the same thing with Nichi Bros from last season. It had a really great run. It was probably my favorite show of that particular season. And I think it has, with Polar Bear Cafe, it has pretty much the same type of atmosphere and I guess the same type of easygoing approach to its comedy that the other show had last season. So I'm okay with it finishing. I wouldn't be mad if they added another season. I'd be totally up for it, but we'll just see. It's one of those just wait and see things. I don't think it will happen, but I'm okay with where it is right now. If it finishes, then that's great. It's a great show, and I'm really glad to have watched it.
Are you guys, Min, Yerocha, are you guys watching it as well, or?
Sorry, I don't, or I haven't watched any.
I was watching it for a little while. I only saw, I think, the first 4 episodes, but then I lost track of it, and then didn't really got the urge to try getting back into it again. At some point, I will go back and finish this season, but if they did have a second season, I don't think I would actually continue on with it, because it does feel like a show that very easily could go on too long and become unbearable. And I think for a few people, it may have already reached that point. But for now, it sounds like it's a good place to leave it off.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, Min, I don't think we heard from you. What is there a show this season you'd like to see get a second season out?
Yeah, I mean, sticking on the slice of life topic, I guess I'd really miss Achikochi, Place to Place. That one it could easily be 2 seasons or, more, just because it's pretty typical, half episode, episodic, just high school friends playing around kind of thing. Just super, super cute. That, and also, like you, Joe, I would really, really like more Mysterious Girlfriend X, because I know there's a lot more of the manga that than the anime's capable of covering in season. So
I know, and they keep hinting at us at an arc, and it just drives me nuts because they're never going to animate it. It frustrates me, but that's okay.
But I mean, I guess I haven't read, or everything I've read of Mysterious Girlfriend X has already been covered by the anime at this point, so I actually don't really know what I'm missing. But I am pretty familiar with that feeling, because I'm a big Gunslinger Girl fan, and that's one where the adaptation got aborted kind of in the middle of it. But anyway, yeah, Mysterious Girlfriend X has been just, I think, phenomenal this season.
So not to spoil anybody, but you know how he's been getting the photo books of Imayama Mocha?
Right.
Just imagine that as an arc, and you've got it. It's great. It's fun to watch. You see a whole other side of Makoto, but we're never going to get it. It's frustrating. But whatever, I'll deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, I really loved the ending to the previous arc. That was a really funny episode.
Yeah, I think that was a great arc.
It's just a great romantic comedy, and I think there's still a lot more that could be explored. I doubt they're even going to kiss by the end of this.
I don't think they even kiss in the manga. I'd have to go back and look. It's been so long since
Really?
I read that far back. I mean, they're a fair number of chapters into that manga, and I'm trying to remember if they've ever kissed even then. I have to go back and look.
I haven't read that manga, but I understand that feeling very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The whole just kiss already, damn it. The reason why I'm watching this is because I just want to see you two kiss, and if you're not, then oh gosh, I'm gonna have to.
Have you watched Bika HK?
Oh yes! Oh my gosh! Don't even start me with that show, man. Oh jeez! I'm just so mad. Well, I'm glad it ended, but either way, I'm still really mad. Oh gosh!
Yeah, I think that one ended about the only way it could.
Yeah.
So one of our chat guys here makes the comment "woof," which reminds me that coming up this summer season, we have a new season of Rene. Rene no
Lagrange.
Lagrange, yeah.
And I mean, did that show really need a second season? It seemed like it was only average in terms of maybe we have a different perspective over here, but it seemed to have an average amount of hype. It seemed like they concluded pretty well. What's there to? Did it really need a second season, in your guys' opinion?
I never saw the first season. Yeah.
I know
Actually,
those who enjoyed the mecha stuff were kind of disappointed because it just was kind of corny mecha. It wasn't really a true, you know, it was kind of a mix between sci-fi and girls doing cute things. You know what I mean?
I think it was unfortunate because it had to air in the same season as Simple Gear. Not Simple Gear, as Evil, and that kind of got lost in the mix with all those shows airing at the same time. I also mentioned Simple Gear there as well, but actually between the two, Rin and Simple Gear, I actually ended up watching Simple Gear over that. So.
Yeah, I think I managed to finish it, but I definitely Simple Gear and Evil definitely were much better in terms of going there than that was.
Yeah, definitely. And with Simple Gear, there was that, for me personally, there was that whole transforming thing, and that just like really screamed out Magical Girl, but that was just more like sci-fi-ish, and it's actually that kind of marriage between the whole sci-fi angle with the transformation sequences and all those other tropes that regards to like empowering of females and whatnot. It really struck out to me. So I was really intrigued. I wasn't like overly impressed with it, but I thought it was something that really interested me just because it touched upon a bunch of things that I'm kind of working on myself personally. So it's kind of like a source to kind of work off of.
So guys, I think we've kind of gone through quite a bit tonight. Is there any final thoughts from you guys? How about we start with this? Your best. How about your good, your bad, and your ugly from this season, and then go from there. Min, why don't you start?
Okay. So good, I guess. I'll choose Saitama. Bad. I have been watching Medaka Box, and that is pretty bad. And ugly, I'm gonna have to go with Jormungand, not because it's ugly, actually, or visually, but because it's so inconsistent. I think it has some really awesome episodes, but other times the action has just been really bad. So it's been on and off disappointing. I really wish it was a better show because it could be.
Yerocha, what about yours? You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, and then any final thoughts you've got?
Okay, my good was actually going to be Jormungand because I just really like the action in that one. I'm also Saitama for good, I guess. So we do agree on one thing. My bad is Medaka Box, at least the first part of it.
Yeah, it gets better, but I still think it doesn't get really good.
It's different.
Yeah.
And my ugly is the fact that I'm still stuck on 2 episodes of Space Bros. I'm nowhere near caught up on it yet.
Oh my gosh, I still have to catch up on that too. I think I'm good 3 episodes behind as well, so you're not alone there.
Watch Planet Test. It's much better.
What about you?
What about you,
Kriz? What's your good, your bad, and your ugly?
Oh gosh, okay. This is just me rubbing my tooting my own horn here with regards to my fandom here, but oh gosh, good friggin' Smile Precure. It's just gotten really good the past couple of weeks. Like normally for a show like this, you just get your regular monster of the week, but I don't know, for some reason this series has been adding a lot more substance to it with regards to character appeal and just a whole lot of emotional development between an emotional background for all those characters, and I'm just starting to really become attached to these particular to this particular iteration of a cast of characters compared to other shows within the franchise. So I'm actually really impressed by how well it's doing right now. So that's my good. As for my bad, I'm gonna go with Medaka Box, because not so much because it's not that it's bad. It's just that I don't know, for some reason I had this expectation that it would be reasonably good, or it would be like something like that'd be watchable. But then It's just it didn't really capture me. I was particularly intrigued by Aki Toyosaki's performance as Medaka, but
I think actually the voice acting is quite good in that
it's
show.
really good actually.
I like her. I like
he does a
Romy
really
Haku.
good job. Yeah.
I
still think Shira Nui is the best part of that show.
Yeah, definitely. Emily Kato, she adds a lot to it.
But just overall, I just don't like Monica as a character at all. I think she's very polarizing, so I'm going to be on that bad side for that. The ugly would have to be, okay, this is going to be weird, but I'm going to put Sakamichi no Pona, Kids on the Slope here. Because I'm feeling really awkward about the whole romantic entanglement here with all these characters involved, and every time a new development happens, it's just moments that are being taken away from my insatiable need for animated jazz music. So whenever someone talks about their feelings in the show, I'm just kind of like, eh. I'm just kind of like, I'll mute it and I'll just fast forward to the music part. It's the same approach that I took with Black Rock Shooter. I just skip forward to the fight scenes, and then whenever they're in the real world, I just kind of ignore it and just fast forward to the next fight scene. So.
Not sure if that makes it make more or less sense.
Oh, I don't know. But
it certainly makes it a better show.
Oh, for Black Rock Shooter?
Yeah,
if
you took away all the non-otherworld.
Yeah, it becomes like just 10 quality minutes of really, really good action, and all of a sudden it becomes one of my favorite shows of the season. But then it's it's a huge condition there because I ended up ignoring all the other story elements, which apparently brought it down by miles. So
yeah.
So I'm taking the same approach with Kids on the Slope this season, which was very surprising to me. So that's why I'm choosing it to be my ugly.
Gotcha. I'll finish up with what I've got. I think my good, I'll go with MGX again. It took a manga I love and animated it, and did a great job. I'm going to go with my bad. I'm going to go with Eureka AO. It did not.
Oh, okay.
So far, it's just not. It's throwing so much stuff every week, and there's no backup for it. It's hitting you with things, and there's just nothing to back it up. There's no dialogue to kind of go with. It's just an incessant amount of information, and it's like, wait a minute, at least let me catch up. Let me get my thoughts together. It's been very frustrating. It's been very hard to blog too. And I think for my ugly, I gotta go Medaka Box, just because the manga was terrible for those first 50 chapters, and to animate that and to not even improve on it, to maintain that horrible, I don't know, just to maintain it is just it shows they had bad source material. They didn't improve on it, and it just blah. One episode in, I was done. I didn't even care. I read the manga. I knew it was coming. It didn't appeal to me at that point, you know. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. And I hate to say I love Eureka, but AO is killing me. Absolutely killing me.
I think it has a lot to live up to. I think.
True.
Like a lot to live up to. So it's kind of.
I think they're trying
tough.
too hard.
Yeah, maybe that's a problem.
I think there's a lot to build from, but I think they're just shooting too high, and they just need to work right into it, you know.
I think the original was like that too. It started off, it's just kind of like there, and you just they ease you into everything, and then all of a sudden by maybe episode 13 or so, I don't know, somewhere in the double digits, and all of a sudden you're sucked into this huge world, and then it wasn't really like that for AO. I think it's just it started things way too fast, so it's hard to just ease you into it.
How long is AO supposed to be?
I thought 2 seasons worth, 24, 26 episodes, something like that.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna go the full 50 like the original, but I could be wrong. So to compare one of our viewers tonight, I'll give you guys a thumbs up or thumbs down on their good, bad, ugly. Good, Lupin. Bad, Jorgemon. And ugly, I'm gonna say this wrong because I can't.
Naruto.
Gosh, man. I got my nice West Coast accent kills me, right? What do you guys think? Good choices, bad choices?
Those are.
Lupin's a good stylistic choice. That's
Lupin's
fine.
alright.
It's got a neat little style going on, and there's probably, I don't know, there's a lot of boobs.
Yeah, I think we
But,
need to start a campaign to change the name from Lupin to Mine's Boobs.
Starring Lupin.
Starring Lupin, yes. Fujiko's Boobs
Yeah.
starring Lupin.
Sorry, Lupin. Yeah.
Fuji boobs and
Fuji
the
boobs,
detective.
yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up. I guess that's fine. I'm cool with that. You're I haven't watched enough of that to make a decision there, but the reason why I ended up watching as much as I did was pretty much because of the Seiyu for Coco. Oh,
Yeah.
because she's a good,
Ita.
yeah,
She's really good.
She's great in everything she does, so she's really carrying that show for me, at least performance-wise. So, but the rest of the show, it wasn't enough for me to just continue watching, despite being such a huge fan of her. So,
I still
Yeah,
say Jormungand is pretty good, but
I think it's a good show, but
it's fine. Yeah.
I think the action sequences in the first half of the show so far, the one involving orchestra, the duo with the girl, that was pretty bad. But then some of the action sequences towards the end, like the first episode where they go to Africa, starts off with the pirate attack on their ship. That was excellent.
I'll give this thumbs to the side. There you go. It's not bad. Okay. It's there, and it's there for people who want to enjoy it, and if they're enjoying it, that's great for them.
Sounds good, guys. Well, I appreciate you three coming on tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I think for
All right.
Yerocha, this is the first time I've
Thanks.
gotten a chance to talk with you. Thanks for doing this.
all right, thanks. It's interesting. My first chance to be on a live stream, really.
Well, thanks for coming on. And Kriz and Min, I see you guys quite often, but I always appreciate you guys participating.
All right, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really quick.
Yep.
I'm in the round of 32 for the Anna Block turning. Vote for me, please. Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, Metanorn is too.
Yeah,
so
Metanorn.
please vote.
So
Metanorn, Baka Laureate. Vote for these two.
yeah, so shameless plugs for our guests. Go vote for the blog.
Yes, beautiful.
Go for it. So yeah, if you haven't been in the Anna Blog tourney, go for it. You know, do some passive aggressive voting against your competition. That's all. But anyways, you can find this show within about the next 24 hours at joeanimated.wordpress.com. You've got the video and the audio. There's a podcast feed if you're up for that kind of thing. And if you're interested in coming on like these three guys did, you can email me at joeanimated@gmail.com. So thanks again, guys, and have a good night.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
All right.